So let's start first and foremost with where you are now. You're in college. You just came out of the heels of high school and of something I can't even imagine personally, where you didn't actually have what most other people navigated, in all honesty, with proms and a normal graduation. And not that there really ever is a normal, if I can be completely transparent, but you didn't do what everybody else had really built up that the end of high school would be, and then walking into college. Can you help us understand what that must have been like on the receiving end of that?
Yeah, I would say definitely going into college was super strange, like figuring out how to do everything online. I didn't get the experience so much of getting to meet new people and make new connections through classwork and like going to class in person. Like I took a public speaking class my first semester of college, and I was giving speeches through a computer screen, and all my classmates were just little squares on my laptop that probably weren't actually listening to my speech. So that was interesting, definitely. Like the whole connecting with other people part is something we missed out on a lot, even just not being able to see each other's faces when we go out in the hallway of our dorm room. All of that kind of interpersonal connections was missed out on a little bit.
For me, COVID actually just made me have the decision not to go to college, just focus on myself. I feel like being in an environment where it's like not all hands-on and you don't really get the same connection as you usually would in school, it was just something I wasn't interested in. So waiting until COVID was over, and now I'm probably gonna start school back in spring when it's normal again. But yeah, I decided to take a different approach to it than everybody else who did go to college.
It's a highly mature and self-aware decision. From a perspective of having navigated it, is there any place where you feel like those of us who were setting the standards for either taking time to not go into a college environment or transitioning into a college environment, or even what you navigated in school, where you didn't feel like we had an understanding, and I say we just because my generation, where we didn't have an understanding of what you were navigating through, or you felt like we could have had more compassion or care or done something different. So if ever something like this happened again, we would have more insight or awareness.
I think something that I've noticed from my parents specifically, and just your guys' generation, I guess, is just the importance of college and getting a degree is very much necessary to be successful in life in general, or to get a good paying job. College is the path that you have to take to get there. And I think graduating high school in a time where school didn't really feel real kind of made us question whether college was necessary or what the exact purpose of going to school was. If we felt like we could just kind of halfway get through school and do it online and, cheat on Canvas quizzes and then still get the on-paper degree that college gives you, then what's the point in actually putting in the work to get somewhere where our parents, so it opened up our horizon to other options of trade school or cosmetology, or even just I know one of my friends is bought a van and she's just going to travel the world, So I think it made us take a step back and think, is college the only path that we're meant to be on, or can we journey off and just do what we enjoy doing and it doesn't have to be school?
I think we were all shocked when it happened too. Like, yay, 2 weeks off of school, we get a long spring break. And then once it all kicked in, it was like, oh, this is real. Like, we're probably not gonna have a prom or do senior tag or graduate, walk across the stage. It was just kind of like a setback. And I feel like personally it like paused my life. I was like, okay, I have like a break from everything. And I didn't really think of the next step. But over time, obviously, it's getting better and better. But I think it was just a shock to everybody. Nobody really knew where to navigate and what to do.
Yeah. Were you offered resources to help you handle what you were going through?
I don't think so. I feel like because everyone kind of was experiencing it together, you know, like your generation obviously had impacts of COVID too. So I think just because we were all kind of suffering together and going through it together, people obviously felt guilty or empathy for us that we were missing out on things like prom and like walking for graduation from high school. But the mental impact that it had long term on our generation, I think, was kind of looked over just because everyone was feeling really extreme emotions about what was going on.
Yeah, I agree.
So from where you're at now, you could ask for any support in what you're navigating as a fallout. Is there anything that could help you in your next steps? And I'm talking like even you specifically, but as a generational you and what you're seeing or feeling from friends or in social media. You know, part of compassion, I would say, is also being able to know what it is that we can do to help. And I know a lot of people froze because they didn't even know what to do to help, right? It's like deer in the headlight syndrome. I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
But if there is anything that you would ask for as far as help or support or just being compassionate and understanding to where you're going through, what would it be?
I think validation is a big thing, you know, just knowing that we're allowed to be upset and we're allowed to be hurting, that we missed out on like events in our life that we will never get to experience again is just means a lot, especially like from my parents. Even just understanding, like you said, just allowing us to be upset and sad about it is refreshing.
I think our school tried to do the best they could. I think we had plans to, if it did get better in late July or something, to walk like on the football field. We had a virtual prom too, which I feel like they did the best they could to make sure that we felt how everybody else felt as seniors. But again, it's just like completely different. Obviously, you're not actually doing it when you're supposed to be doing it or going through the actual experience. But I think the school system did the best they could. Obviously, everybody was confused. But yeah, it's still like missing out on a lot of stuff.
I think something that could be helpful is more push even from like our colleges, or my college specifically, for like interaction between students or like putting on events to connect people now that the mask mandates are getting lifted. Even just seeing my classmates' faces is kind of shocking and like new. And so it would be nice now that we're able to be in person connecting with each other to have opportunities and places to go and actually do that instead of having to independently reach out to people and seek out new relationships.
Yeah, I think our social skills the past 2 years have definitely gone downhill. Like, I think we just lost like how to talk to people and how to just walk up to people, and I mean groups and activities and stuff like that. I just think that it's harder to create friendships or relationships after it also, because we were in quarantine. Obviously we weren't supposed to be around anybody for a good amount of time. So I don't know, I feel like we both noticed a change in like social skills in general.
Yeah, I agree. I think COVID just kind of forced everybody into their little bubbles. You could only really consistently see the people that you had already been seeing. So we all got really close with who we were comfortable with, and it made us almost uncomfortable around anyone else. So even when you are out in social situations, you're with your friends and everybody else is with their friends. And we're not all connecting with each other because we're just comfortable in our own little bubbles now.